Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Mr. Hino with Miss Hino's Lego Robotics. With so many teachers teaching online virtually and with so many people on Zoom and Google Meets, I thought I would show you this video of 5 games that you can play with your class either on Zoom or Google Meets. Okay guys, the first game is going to be called Double Trouble. It's a really tough game because, kids are so impatient. So here is the counting game. Somebody is going to, in the classroom, is going to just type in the chat 1, and somebody else is going to type in 2, and somebody else is 3. So you're basically trying to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as high as you can go. But here's why it's called Double Trouble. As soon as 2 people type in the same number, you have to start over and go back to 0 again. So it's a really tough game, but it's fun because you want to see how high the class can go before 2 people just get impatient and type the same number in at the same time. Okay, so game number 2 is called 3 for Speed. And it's a really cool game because you don't need that much time to ask 3 questions. So you give the class some type of theme that you're going to ask for these 3 questions. So it could be fast food, it could be cartoon characters. So as soon as you ask the question, the first 3 students that type in the right answer will get 1 point apiece. And everybody that gets it right after the third person gets nothing. So you have to be really quick to type in the correct answer. And so what everybody's trying to do is they're trying to get the most points they can after 3 questions. And so whoever gets the most points, I usually say, hey, you're the king or queen of 3 for Speed. And if it's a tie, usually I'll just say, hey, we got co-champions. So it's a really cool game. Okay, game number 3 is going to be called Guess Who. So what you do is you let everybody in the classroom know that you have picked one person to be the mystery person. And so depending on how big your class is, depends on how many questions you're going to let the class ask. So it's just like the regular game Guess Who, where you're trying to ask questions like, does the person have glasses? Do they have brown hair? So it's going to have to be that the students ask questions off of what they can see in the Google Meet or Zoom. So, if they're looking at people's faces, they can say, does this person have glasses? Or if people are off camera, they can ask questions about their icon. So, they might say, hey, does the person's icon, is it an anime person? Is it a cartoon character? So they can ask things like that. And so what they're trying to do is figure out who it is by narrowing it down on the clues. And after the amount of questions, they all get one choice on who they think it is. Now you might ask, how many yes or no questions do they get to ask? I usually play it by how many levels of students I can see. So if I see 4 levels of students, I'll usually give them 4 questions. So it's kind of like 1 question for maybe every 8 students, just because, obviously the smaller the class, the less questions you would give them. And it's a really fun game so they can start to narrow it down. And then finally you say, okay, everybody, you have 10 seconds to type in the chat, who do you think it is? And everybody's hoping that they get the right person. Game number 4 is going to be called How Close Can You Get? So what I would do is I'd split the class up into teams, and I would pick 1 team captain per team. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give both teams a number question. And what each team captain is going to do is they're going to see what their team says. So a sample might be, how big is Shaquille O'Neal's foot size or shoe size? And so what one team captain might be is, hey team, what do you think? Put your answer in the chat. And the other team captain would do the same thing. And so what I would do is, after giving them so much time, I don't give them a whole lot of time because I don't want them Googling this answer. Each team captain will give me their answer. And so what I'll do is I'll ask them 5 numbered questions. So after each team gives me their 5, answers, what I would do is I would add all of their answers up, all their numbered answers. Now I already know what the correct answers are. So what I do is I take all the correct answers and I get a total amount. And so then what I would do is I would get the total from team 1 and get the total from team number 2. and see which team got closest to the correct total. So they could be off on one question and they could be, very close on the next one. So, at the end of 5 questions, they can actually, if they were off on one, they could actually get their score a little closer to be as close as they can to the real total. And game number 5 would be cool initials. So here's what I would do. I'd take a look at everybody in my classroom and I would look at their initials. So let's say I have a student named Raymond Curtis. So I would take his initials and go RC. So what I would do is I would say, okay, everybody, I have a person in this room and their initials, and then I come up with a clue for RC. So I would say, okay, everybody, I'm thinking of a person in this room and their initials match something that I can, and I have to be careful that I don't use the word control because, RC is remote control. So I have to say, okay, everybody, I'm thinking about something that I can drive where I can, and I have to, again, be careful I don't say the word control because I want them to think remote control. So I might say, I am driving a car, a toy car, and I'm driving it with a wireless remote. Ooh, and I have to be careful I don't say remote either. So if you guys can get the idea, I'm trying to get them to know the initials RC. Or let's say that I have a student named Amy Martinez. I might look at her initials and go AM. Oh, okay, guys, I'm thinking of a student in my class, and this person's initials stand for all of the morning hours. And so that way they go, okay, morning hours. Let's see. Oh, they might think of time. They might think of AM, and then they would guess, is it Amy? And so it's a cool initials, game where hopefully you have students in your class that have those cool initials. I'll give you one more. Let's say that I have a kid in my class named Bobby Barretta. And so I go, okay, BB. Oh, okay. Hey guys, I'm thinking of somebody in this room and their initials stand for a small projectile that comes out of a gun, a tiny, projectile. So I need them to think, and I might even say a toy gun. So they think, oh, a toy gun. Well, it can't be a bullet. Oh, maybe it's small like a BB. And they'll say, is the person Bobby? So it's a cool game to get them to kind of think about their, initials, and they have to look through the whole class meet and figure out who might match that clue. So that one's called the cool initials game. Okay, guys, so, with so many, states and schools that are teaching online, teachers, I know that you have to look for something to get the class excited, because I know that right now teaching virtually is not the most favorite thing for every student. So, they're looking for some type of excitement, some type of fun. So usually I will do this in the last 5 or 10 minutes of class because, they work so hard. They're at home, they're wanting to interact, they're wanting to have some type of gameplay competition. So I just noticed that my class, even though they might not participate in things that are, connected to the class or the subject, they will participate in these games. And it's a nice also way to keep them engaged if you have this at the end of the period where, maybe they don't check out mentally, they don't check out physically. Maybe they hang around and go, hey, I know that we're going to play games today at the end of the period. And maybe some of them do, say, hey, you know what? I might as well, if I'm going to hang around, do the work and then, have fun with the class at the end. So hopefully you like these ideas for your Google Meets or Zoom classrooms. And you know what? It's all about just having these games to keep, your sanity and to keep the kids just engaged and having fun. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. I am Mr. Hino from Mr. Hino's Lego Robotics. I'm out.
He's out.
He's out.
We got this.
We got this.
We got this, guys.
Hey guys, Mr. Hino here. Thank you so much for watching. And if you love robotics, don't forget to check out these videos also because they're cool. Okay guys, take care.